My iGraphic is designed to be a message to instructional designers. The experience should involve the viewer moving from the top left of the image to the bottom right, along the way pausing for some time when viewing the glasses at the center. In the end, a designer should be left thinking more deeply about how they can incorporate empathy for their users into their design process. The entire graphic is set up to be read from left to right. The experience begins in the top left corner with the phrase, "When you design." The placement of these words should draw the viewer's attention to the top left corner and get the viewer to think about the activity of design. Their eyes should then process the glasses in the center of the image. The glasses offer a sense of seeing and focus. I used a slightly different image in each lens. While the shapes and colors are the same, the words are different. This is to give viewers the sense that they are seeing two different perspectives or opinions of the same thing. On the left, I have placed basic design principles that an instructional designer might apply to their work. On the right, I have juxtaposed possible user reactions to a design that conflict with those on the left. A designer might see their work as being representative of the words on the left, while a user might describe it using the words on the right. As the audience experiences my iGraphic, I hope that they notice the stark contrast between the words in the left lens and the words in the right lens. The last piece of the experience, which should bring together the idea of two perspectives for one design, are the words in the bottom right. They finish the sentence at the top left of the image by asking, "What did they see?" The "they" implies the user, and so this phrase has been located underneath the user perspective. The sentence as a whole, "When you design, what do they see?" is a rhetorical question for a designer to keep in mind. The glasses are a visual representation of what might happen if the designer does not consider their user's response. The design for my iGraphic started simply with the idea of user experience. I wanted to allude to the empathy a designer must exercise when creating an experience. I abstracted this idea of empathy as a way of seeing. Glasses are almost always associated with the idea of sight, clarity, and even understanding. Behind the glasses, I create a blurred white shape so the viewer's attention is drawn to what is in the focus of the two lenses. At first, the words in the lens on the right were actually full sentences. This made the experience of the image quite cumbersome. To make it a more natural experience and to reflect the single words in the left lens, I developed a set of single words for the right lens. This made the comparison for a viewer much quicker, easier, and more visual. One of the keys of this image is to express that there are at least two perspectives when designing. In reality, there are as many as your user's number, but for this picture I wanted to portray a relationship between user and designer. It was my goal to do this without explicitly labeling each perspective, which I did at first. I eliminated these titles, and at this point the second half of the phrase, in the bottom left corner, said, "What do you see?" A suggestion from a classmate helped me to make a slight yet effective change. By changing "you" to "they," I am able to imply that there is a second perspective within the image, and that a designer must know or empathize with this perspective.